You're always welcome to join, Jeff.
Yeah.
All right. So according to my thingy, it says we're being live streamed.
Welcome,
Excellent.
everybody.
Hi, everyone. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday and happy anniversary to Star Wars Rebels.
Can you believe
So glad
it?
you could join us.
Yeah, welcome to the anniversary celebration. 8 years later.
8 years. Oh my gosh.
8 years. So the show has been off the air for like 4 years now, which that's the crazier thing for me because that I feel like I just watched this finale.
I know. It went by so fast. But honestly, the show has had my heart since the beginning, and so much amazing things this show has contributed to the Star Wars universe. So it's been so good having it as a part of the lexicon, and
it's given us a lot.
It's given us so much. It's really exciting. So
Wikipedia. Oh yeah, I saw that. Yes. Hello. Well, hello, Spencer.
Hi,
I'm gonna
Spencer.
plug the shirt when there are more people. Don't ruin
Hi, Catherine.
the reveal. Hi, Catherine. Yeah, the shirt is great. By the way, I ordered several of these. I think I talked about that the day the shirt went live. I was like, I got one in like 4 colors. There will also be, hi Jennifer.
Hi, Jen.
Trust me, there's going to be a conversation around the shirt later in the episode. Because
Stay
we are
tuned.
celebrating something. It's an anniversary. While we're doing our watch-alongs, I think we should talk about some of our like anniversary style, favorite moments from the whole series.
Right.
We've got a lot of other like stuff to talk about too. We've got Andor season 4. By the way, anyone who I know you're just joining, the Thursday episode that you guys did with you and Catherine and Dave and I think it was Dave and Spencer was awesome. That was
thanks.
Great show. That was one of my all-time favorites of the Thursday watch-along. That's a good mix of people right there, the 4 of you.
We were so nerdy. It was great. I loved every second of it.
I was like screaming along too when things were happening because I like tend to agree with Catherine a lot, and I'm like,
oh, she's so smart.
But like, I'm never live when it happens.
Amazing.
Yeah, she's awesome. She knows her stuff. So, and I see Dave in there. Yeah, we've got the group joining us for anniversary day of Rebels.
Yes. So as I made a post earlier this morning, we're gonna be reading your comments about your thoughts about Star Wars Rebels and how you felt when you first watched it. If you want to pipe in the chats now and tell us how you felt, if you haven't contributed already, we'll definitely be reading those as well. So the first one I want to get to is Mr. Stephen Greenwood. He says, such a wonderful addition to the Star Wars universe. Totally agree with you. Obviously, we wouldn't be doing the show if we didn't agree with you. But yeah.
And a very incremental addition as well. Like it really added for kids. It gave us a new pillar of animation. It built out a lot of different stories that are now feeding into everything else, which is the thesis of this show. And also like was animation for like a kind of for adults, even though it was for kids, but it filled like a spot that was not currently being taken up by some other content in the portfolio. Like it feels like it lives in like a very specific spot, almost like taking where Clone Wars was, because there wasn't more Clone Wars. Sort of the continuation of that, even though it's not really a direct sequel, but it feels like a spiritual sequel for sure.
It's true. And as mentioned by J.W. Moeller, my first thought was, wow, they went straight up Ralph McQuarrie for the art style, which did help make up for the fact that Disney had obviously dialed down the budget from Clone Wars as the visuals were more sparse. And I kind of agree with you there in the first season, especially with the first couple episodes, they kept it really minimal. But the designs and using all the concept art from Ralph McQuarrie, that's what really like blew my mind, because it's like, oh my God, they're doing their homework. Like they're delving deep into the Star Wars history without even saying, oh, look, this is what this is. It's up to us to do our homework and to know. And that's what's so appealing about it. It just, as old as it was at the time, it's still like something fresh that we hadn't.
It feels
seen.
new.
Yeah, it totally felt new.
It's the kind of thing so the episodes we're going to watch tonight, episodes 3 and 4, Chopper's going to meet R2, and Chopper in many ways was the proto version of R2 from the Ralph McQuarrie, and C-3PO is there too. That's not really Zeb's. Zeb was more like the Chewbacca, I guess, equivalent or whatever. But he's and there are Wookiees in this show. So in fact, we saw that in Sparks of Rebellion. So Zeb and Chopper, when I look at them, I immediately think McQuarrie, and it just puts a smile on my face because like it takes you back to 1977, while at the same time being fresh and new for a new generation. You look at this lineup, like this is a nice diverse lineup. We've got two female leads who get speaking roles and names and agency and everything, which feels like it should be the baseline, but like groundbreaking.
Absolutely.
Sadly, right? And then a really awesome killer droid, a really fun creature, and 2 Jedi. Like that's a good mix. They know how to build it through, you know.
They did, and I felt like it's all new people. It's not like, oh, this guy was Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, as much as I love Obi-Wan, it wasn't someone we'd seen before. None of these characters were anybody we had seen before.
It was a risk too to do that.
It was a huge risk.
Which is why I think in episode 3 they're like, reminder, C-3PO and R2 are in this I and
just so you know, we're not going to scare you and take it away completely. Just work with us, ease in slowly. So
yeah. I want to address the shirts, and I'm getting so many comments.
So
one, the link is up for the TeePublic if anyone wants to buy a Rebels Revisited shirt, available on the Virtual Cantina TeePublic store. All the proceeds, of course, are for swag at Celebration. I'm wearing this in orange, which looks really good with the silhouetted sort of shot of all the different Rebels characters on here. I really like the way this color came out. I also have it in dark blue. I've got a light blue. I got a heather blue for my husband.
I think how well they all work, actually.
Yeah.
They all look great. Like the only one I thought was weird
really
was the green and red, like because of the
we can wear that around the holidays.
But yeah, it's perfect for December. I've been wearing orange. I actually wore an orange dress shirt today because it's Halloween season, and of course I work for a Halloween company, so orange is good. Oh yeah, by the way, like for the boys out there, if you want your arms to pop, like I have normal size biceps, but like look at the
gun show.
Like
look at this gun show, you guys.
Like, this shirt fits in the right places, but also like not in the stomach. So like it's like tight where it needs to be. I don't know who made this cut, but like it's the standard male cut, and yet like arms are popping. So I may take some new profile pictures in this shirt.
Please do. It looks so good on you.
For my secret Bumble account. But the shirts look great, by the way. Did you order shirts yet, Ashley?
I'm going to.
Moved, so
yeah, I'm going to. I haven't had much of a chance to sit down and look at anything, but I'm really excited. I'm definitely going to get the orange. The orange looks phenomenal.
The orange is great. Yeah.
I wanted to get like the turquoise blue too, because that would be
I got the turquoise, the dark blue. They all look great.
Like the heather turquoise, like that looked really good. I'm definitely probably going to get a green for Christmas, so we can when we record our Christmas show.
The more I talk about it, it's like I'm going to have to get one. Thank you, Catherine. Orange is a hard color to wear, but it really works on this t-shirt with this design because of the silhouetting, and the logo is orange, so it all kind of works.
Medium.
A schmedium. Yeah, I talk about being a schmedium all the time. I am on a path to become small by the end of the year, let me tell you. Other people are trying for gains, and I'm like trying to shrink slightly.
Oh, I totally hear you. My sister kicked my butt this weekend at the gym, and it was the first time since I've been home that I've gone, and I'm like, oh, I couldn't even stand up today. I was like, what am I doing?
I'm worried about being at New York Comic Con because it's all French fries and standing. Like it's not real exercise. It just hurts your body, but it doesn't give you any benefit. We'll talk about that too on the chat tonight. There's a lot of things to cover in the chat tonight. We're going to watch 2 episodes. We're going to talk New York Comic Con. We're going to talk some mad smack about Mon Mothma's husband. She's not a lesbian, but she's going to become one because of this man. Let me tell you, I hate him. I hate him so much. I will be her gay husband. And then I have a Paul Rubens story to share because he's in an episode. Ooh, yes. And for everyone, it seems like we have a good number of people listening now, and people are really liking the shirt. To celebrate the anniversary, I'm giving away a shirt. So someone will be chosen randomly. All you have to do is comment throughout the episode while we're live, and you'll have a chance of winning. We're going to pull someone at random, not Jeff or Dave or Spencer. Let's be clear. None of the co-hosts.
I'll have YouTube up as well, just so we can keep an eye on the chats too, because we don't want to leave anybody out there.
If we have all right, we'll give away 2. All right, I will give out 2 shirts, one for YouTube, one for Facebook. Again, none of the hosts, but we will send out 2 shirts for Rebels Revisited. You just have to tell me your size and your color, and we'll get them mailed out to you. Give it like 2 weeks though, because I'm drowning in New York Comic Con right now.
New York Comic Con.
I know. I'm so happy you're coming.
Okay. Yeah. I am so excited. It just everything, just the universe loved me. The dreaming worked with me. And if you know what I'm talking about, because Tom Sturridge and Mason Alexander Park from The Sandman are going to be at New York Comic Con on Thursday. And I happened to have a friend, after I posted about it, a friend messaged me and be like, hey, we have a spot in the car if you want to ride in with us. And I lost my mind. I'm like, oh my God, it's happening. So I had to buy a ticket. I had to buy photographs and photo ops, autographs and photo ops. And it was just like, it worked out perfectly. So I'm so excited to be going, even if it's just for the day. I am bummed that Mason is doing their panel on Friday, like the Sandman piano panel on Friday, and I won't be able to see them. But I hope you can go. It looks like it's going to be phenomenal.
I'm going to be working the whole time.
It's at 8:45 p.m.
Oh, on Friday night?
Yes.
I do have to see what my after party commitments are. And by after party, I mean, we have 2 guests staying with us. And then we have other friends who are in, like, you know how this goes. Like there's circles of people that we have to connect with, including like a talent agent and and someone there's a few people in the fandom I got to see, and they were doing press at the booth. So I got to see if that turns into stuff. But
that'd be awesome.
I would like to get to that Sandman thing now that you mentioned it's off site. So, or off after hours.
Yeah, so. I think it's in room 405, but if you have a badge, you can go.
And it's after hours. Okay.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna have to look into that now. If I'm able to do it, I'll do it.
Yes.
Yes, hosts get no love. You get no free stuff. It's your stuff. we're funding celebration. no shirt for you, Jeff.
Spencer is also mentioning the Rhode Island Comic Con meetup. So that is happening, you guys. Yeah. I hope you all can come if you're in town for Rhode Island Comic Con. I hope to see you there. Rhode Island is one of my home shows, so I will definitely be there, whether I'm exhibiting as an artist or as a fan. I haven't heard back from them yet, but we'll see.
I'm going as a fan, and so if you end up fanning, I will drag you around everywhere.
Sweet, I'm down.
And just buy you snacks and like make you like the +1 of me and Jason. You'll have a great time. Oh, you'll get to meet him. He's only going to be there Friday. Damn it!
But I'll still get to meet him. I'll be there.
Yeah, I'm thinking New York. But yes.
Oh, New York. Okay.
In Rhode Island.
Oh.
Jason,
okay.
I'm having my husband volunteer, which means he's being voluntold to help me at the booth on Friday.
Voluntold, love it.
I'm looking at the time, and because we go long every week, let's start the show, and then we will talk about everything except the episode while we watch the episodes. Deal, just like we do every week.
Sounds good.
So everyone, queue up your Disney Plus. Get your Disney Plus machine going. We're back to season 1. We're basically starting toward the beginning again because the rebellion is forming within Andor. We are at the beginnings of the rebellion stage. So we're like, well, let's go on this mission with Andor right now. So we're going to start with episode 3, Droids in Distress. Do you want to do the countdown?
Sure. I'll count down from 5. So we'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Play. And I just have to give a quick shout out to my friend Rachel at Occasional Geek for this amazing Snarkbot pendant. It is one of my favorite pieces. You guys know I wear the Sabine one all the time, but this is her newest one and she let me name it and I love her to pieces. So thank you, Rachel. And it was, I just love it.
It's gorgeous.
I had to put it on immediately. It's acrylic, so it's so light.
Ooh,
and it comes with this really cool wire necklace and you can just kind of,
Very nice.
Thank you.
I need more like personalized wearable swag. I mean, I know I work for a costume company so that sounds a little incorrect, but I have like full costumes, but I don't have what we were talking about earlier, like what you're wearing your shirt, which is a very wearable piece of apparel that has sort of like cosplay implications. Like if you know who Hera is, like that's a cool, like sort of stylized Hera look. But if you also are just walking around like, oh, it's a really interesting print that's green, you could just wear out.
Right. And I have a dress that's like this. This is by Elhofer Design. I have her Hera inspired dress. It's the Galactic Spectre dress. And I'm going to be wearing it to the Not So Scary Halloween party later this month in Disney World for my Hera bounding. So I got to work on my goggles, but it's happening.
Yeah. I think even if you had everything except the goggles, you'd be good. You're not doing face paint or anything, are you?
No, I have a scarf. It's an Elhofer scarf with this pattern on it, and it's got like a hood, but it's got like a, the Leiku kind of design. So it's a hood with like a built-in Leiku, and I'll just put the goggles over that, wear that around.
Okay. I think that's the way to do it.
It might be too hot, and I don't have like the flight cap, which is fine because I have short hair and it would just look weird, I think. So, we got Captain Rex in the paint.
Yes. RX, the RX droid, which I rewatched the Rebels Recon again because they always give you little tidbits. This is based on Star Tours. So they decided that within the galaxy, they wanted to have public transportation on screen, which we never really see in prior movies or Clone Wars, really. So they were like, well, the only public transportation we know of is Star Tours. Let's just do that. And then they brought in the RX droid, voiced by Paul Rubens. Who is tremendous. He's best known for being Pee Wee Herman, but he's also a pretty prolific voice actor. And we had him sign autographs for us at Tops.
That's so cool.
I think he's the nicest guy. I met him at Rhode Island Comic-Con, and I did one of my things where, like, usually you go to an agent and you email and you send offers and you do all this stuff, but sometimes you can meet someone at a convention. And I just had my stack of business cards. I went up to his agent and I was like, hi, my name is Mark. I work at Tops. You know, I run the Star Wars license. Would love for you to sign autographs. And he heard Star Wars. We started chatting at Rhode Island, and then the following year, we got him into a whole bunch of product. And then when he's in New York, I actually did a signing at his hotel room in New York where he was staying for New York Comic Con.
That's
and he signed
really
a bunch
cool.
of stuff for Authentics, and that was very cool. And I basically just talked at him while he signed autographs, and I was like, you have no idea, like, the Christmas special from Pee-wee's Playhouse is my husband and I watch it 4 or 5 times throughout the Christmas season.
Oh, like, my gosh.
We scream stuff at each other from that show. We like I
haven't seen it since I was little.
You got to watch it tomorrow. Like I know we're in spooky season, but it is like a must watch. The Pee-wee's Halloween, the Pee-wee's Christmas, Cher, Grace Jones.
Wow.
It's like this
That's
unbelievable,
huge.
like Magic Johnson, Little Richard, like the number of people who pop into this thing, Joan Rivers and Oprah, it's like unbelievable.
Yeah, it's like unheard of. Oh, there's Ahsoka behind me.
Yep.
She's popped up. But I love this, and I think Chopper just loves this need, has this need to just harass Ezra and just kind of poke at him. So he loves
not smart
being undercover here. Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's Minister Tua, R.I.P. I never liked her, but I also felt like she didn't deserve what she got.
No, she was kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. And this made me so like.
Oh, this is great. Yes.
Okay.
Where's your
R2 was my
Team
favorite. R2 is my favorite, like my entire life up until this show. And then Chopper just rolled onto the scene and he's a cat. He's essentially a droid cat. And I was just like, oh, but I love him. And he's so murdery. So so now it's Chopper, R2. I'm sorry, but
yeah. He could be the silver medal winner. I also think in a fight, Chopper would kick his butt. Knowing though that R2 has been with like Anakin and Luke, he's probably racked up like a higher kill count and has seen like more than Chopper has.
And he hasn't said anything. Like he doesn't rat anybody out. He's just like the permanent secret keeper of the Star Wars universe.
And I don't think he was memory wiped often, because there's one episode in Clone Wars where Anakin loses him and they're like, oh, well, it's fine because like based on protocol, it's not like secrets are going to get out. And Anakin's like, I don't really wipe this droid. And it was like, oh my God, we better get R2. Like, I remember that being a thing, and it was one of those, like, almost like you fill in a bad plot hole from, like, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So R2 apparently has all the secrets.
And what I love about this episode is when they're landing and you see that purple sky, that's a Macquarie sky. Like, I've seen his concept art like that a lot, and I
You're
love
an artist. You know this stuff.
Yeah. So just like, getting to see that as the shuttle is landing, it's like, oh, my gosh, it's perfect.
I like that Ezra's main tasks in these early episodes are like, climb in this thing, you little rat. Like, it's very like, we don't really trust you that much, like go climb into the vent. He doesn't really do a lot of force power stuff. Like, he's very early in his training. They
just want him. He's small, he's scrappy, he gets into where they need him to be. It's just, it works out.
Yeah, they're still learning to trust him, which is why Chopper treats him like a jerk and Zeb treats him like a jerk. More of like a big brotherly kind of vibe, but like a little too aggressive. I was like, guys, like, you're gonna get found out. But I do like him jumping over buildings. It's very Clone Wars. It's very like, you know, when Padawans are learning, you know, the force jumps and all that kind of stuff. He's a relatable protagonist though, because he's not perfect, and he's trying to figure it out, kind of like we, the audience, are trying to figure out like, how would we survive in the Star Wars universe. We're watching him do it. He's pretty good, I gotta say. He's making good progress over here.
I don't think I could jump off a building though. Like
No. Oh my God, I'd be dead in like episode 1,
my
scene
legs
1.
would be broken.
Yeah.
End of story. The
Yeah.
force will not save me. I'm sorry, it's over.
Oh my God, I stubbed my toe the other night. Now that my age starts with a 4, it's all purple. So and then the convention is this week. So I was like hobbling around work today, and they're like, "What'd you do?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm a clumsy idiot." So I'll be fully healed by Thursday, I hope. Oh yeah, so New York Comic Con. There were some things that are like almost businessy kind of stuff. Well, one, you're visiting, right? So you don't have any business to talk New York Comic Con.
I don't, but I have a lot of friends that are tabling there.
Anyone you want to promote? Anyone's names or tables?
Okay, Erin Leffler. She's a friend of mine. She goes by Butternut Gouache. She has a really, really cute art style. She's got some sequel trilogy and some Rebels pieces at her booth. So go check her out.
Cool.
There's also my friend Brian Fife, who I'll be working for. I think he's at G10 next to Joe Caroni. Joe Caroni's at G9.
Okay.
So go check them out. Their art is amazing. Newligan is another friend of mine. He does amazing like street inspired art, but it's also like classic Disney with the big gloves and the Chucks, like Chuck Taylor sneakers. I love his art. He's another one I would promote.
Okay.
But yeah, go see you guys at booth 2900.
Well, I got to see all these people. So at some point when I have an hour break or whatever, I'll try to find where you are if you're not doing a thing like in line for something, and I can meet your friends.
I should be free around like after 1. I should be free. So.
Oh, perfect. The day flies too. Like the show opens at 10. I'm getting there at 8 because our setup on the thing is like we have really expensive stuff that we can't leave out overnight. So I want to outfit the booth like in the morning. We've got our build not really starting tomorrow. Like structural goes up today, and then outfitting tomorrow, and then Wednesday is like decor. But we're not putting out a lot of our stuff until Thursday morning. So I'm more of like I'm gonna pop over to the Javits Wednesday for some behind the scenes stuff, and like a little bit of just double checking everything and making sure our prints look good. Not that you can really affect that much change, but it's really like roll with like what we have if there's any issues. And then Thursday morning it's the setup. So but yeah, I have time to like pop in and out, which will be fun, because I definitely want to meet all your artist friends and see, especially if they have Rebel stuff.
Oh my God, yeah, Erin is so cute. She cosplays. She's got a huge following. It's like butternut_gouache GOUACHE on Instagram. Her name's Erin Leffler. Became friends at Boston Comic Con or Fan Expo Boston this past summer. So definitely check her out. She makes really cute stuff.
Yeah, we'll have to tweet or Instagram all the people that we know in our circles that are going to be there. I will be there, as Ashley mentioned, at booth 2900 with the new Novo. We have a new product to reveal. So the Poe Dameron helmet, the Blue Squadron version. Yeah, it's like the blue and white, very clean looking, from Force Awakens. So I love that one. It's a beautiful helmet.
How dare!
It's going to go for pre-order on Thursday.
And you're going to have Oscar come by and check it out.
I was in my mind, I was like, if there was a way for us to get Oscar Isaac to hold the helmet, I would like lose my mind. So
oh my God, you have to.
I'm gonna try, but here's the thing: I have no connection to him. He never signed autograph for anyone that talks. So I don't have like an old timey relationship that I could like go back to and be like, hey, remember me? Whereas like in a lot of other cases, I'm like, hey, remember me? And like, yes, you like literally signed my check. So like that's a very different conversation than someone I've never met, right? But like in theory, if I could just get him to come to the booth for like 5 minutes, that would be very cool. By the way, I'm not promising that to anyone.
You got
that
Jim
would be
Lee
really
to
neat.
Come by. I mean, come on.
That was very lucky because our friend Danielle, my coworker Danielle, who's also I consider her a friend, used to work at DC, and so she knows him. That was just lucky. By the way, we're bringing another Batman. So we've got the Batman cowl, and we finally have the stand and the base. God help me, this base. We're actually calling it a base and a bust because like it really sits on like it's a head with a thing, and it's like a full bust because you know how big this thing is, and it's got shoulders, and then that has to sit on a base piece because you want to be able to take that off so you can then peel the latex off. So you don't want to be able to pull that off the base, and it's going to have the sequential numbering on the plaque. We're bringing that. All those new pieces are coming to New York. I just saw it today actually in the office, and so that's being hand delivered to the booth. Some other helmets. There'll be one other coming soon helmet, assuming it arrives on time. That's not for pre-order. That'll go up. And then we're running a sale on the Denuo Novo website. So this one's a little different. If you spend $500 or more, you'll save $100. So Nice little
Nice.
discount there, plus free
Yeah.
domestic shipping, reduced international shipping, sort of what we always do. But yeah, it's going to be nice to see the fans again, even though
Oh,
we were
yeah.
just there for San Diego. Yeah, that
Yeah.
89 Batman Dave is very cool. I really like the way it came together. Wait till you see the base and the whole thing together. It's going to look really nice. Excuse me.
Now, it worries me that C-3PO and R2 were in service of Minister Tua. It's like, do you think that the rebellion knew that she was shady and just kind of sent them?
Maybe, because remember Leia pops up later in the season,
Right.
and Leia knows what's up. Leia's always in on it, smarter than anyone knows, and filled with information that people don't realize. Technically, Leia's a senator. And so she is part of the Empire, and those are her droids. So of course they're in service of the Empire, and 3PO is very much like a lawful good. And so he has to fake that, knowing that the Empire, like he's a lawful one, right? Whereas Chopper is like the chaotic one, and R2 is the chaotic one.
Right.
They're obviously working for Leia. So but they have to keep up the face of like working for Minister Tua and the rest of the Empire while the rebellion is forming. I wonder though, at this point, I don't think C-3PO knows there's a rebellion. I know that R2 probably knows. I wouldn't tell C-3PO. He's a narc.
Anything.
He'll sell you out right away. He's working on Mothma's husband, who we're going to get to. Don't you worry. So, yeah.
Words. Oh my God, that man!
Yeah.
I got so infuriated. Oh my God. Okay.
The worst. We'll
discuss him in a bit.
Yeah. Who's worse, C-3PO or Mon Mothma's husband? Discuss. There you go.
Mon Mothma's husband.
Yeah.
Because at least you can memory wipe our 3PO.
Yeah, we could just shoot him. Yeah. Well, is there divorce on Chandrilia? Apparently they got married at like 16. So Mon Mothma has like an adult child, which would be the same age of like a Luke or Leia, because she's the same age as Padme. So in my mind, like she's
Dave
already
gets it. Yeah, Dave gets it.
The husband. Yeah. By the way, this is an important scene coming up for long-term storytelling within Star Wars. They're landing here, and we're going to get the throwdown of Zeb and Callus, which becomes the feud of season 1 into season 2, eventually the resolution of that. But we hear all about the Lasat people and what happened to them, and Zeb is actually almost killed by Callus, which is why I think like his face turn or whatever, his turn to the good side, is not signaled this early. Like it's something that's decided in the character between season 1 and season 2.
Sorry, I'm just glaring at 3PO because he's contacting Callus.
He's a narc.
Fucking, sorry, stupid. And sorry.
Oh, that's me. Believe me, as soon as we're not live, I'm a different person. And David, Jeff, and Ashley, I'm sure their eyes are pinwheels as I just like curse my head off, like the insanity.
Hey, I'm from Massachusetts. We were born with swear words in our mouth, as you can see.
Same thing with New Yorkers. We're very direct. Yeah, this guy. Yeah, I like that. All right, I'm glad everyone hates the husband. All right, is he worse than Tim? There you go. Oh. I think he's way worse than Tim.
Way worse than Tim.
I want there to eventually be justice for Tim.
We need that on a shirt.
I don't know if that we're going to go that far, but like, I'm going to be the one guy holding on, being like, he didn't deserve that.
It's a guy thing. Actually, I should say it's someone who's in love who let his jealousy and his need to protect his partner get in the way of things. So I don't think it was a good idea, and obviously you don't get mixed up with the Empire when it comes to that. So
yeah, but I like, he's a murderer. That's going to be my constant thing. I was like, he was wanted for murder. I would have actually confronted him, because you know him well enough to be like, what's all this about? Tell me the truth.
But he didn't.
And also,
he just went around behind everybody's backs. He was following her like a freaking shady person.
But again,
like, no, be like, what's going on?
She lied, and she got caught in that lie. So,
like, it's
this
both
brings
of their
up
faults.
the question of like, I'm rummaging through your phone and I find something. Should I have been rummaging through your phone? Absolutely not, unless I had suspicion that you were up to something, and then it turns out you were up to something. Now, the trust is broken, right? So that relationship is over. Like, I would think. Like, I'd be like, well, we're breaking up. We're going to divorce, or whatever the Star Wars equivalent is. But
it's cool to see them, how they drop the walkers there from the ship. Like,
that was neat.
I don't think you see that like really before. Like, you just kind of see them there.
Yeah.
Christmas lights. That's what it looked like. Sorry.
I enjoy oh yeah, it does. I didn't even realize that. This little action sequence is good. I going back to something you said earlier at the start, someone was saying that maybe compared to Clone Wars, it doesn't have the same level of like graphics or art direction or whatever. I think in the beginning it does feel a little sparse because we're on Lothal a lot, so you're using a lot of the same like backgrounds and whatnot. But the way the show progresses over time, it gets really expensive looking and the universe broadens tremendously. But I also don't think any of this looks cheap. Like I know this is 8 years ago, but like it seems pretty recent. Oh my God.
And this is what happens, 3PO. You're lucky they can't see you.
Oh, Dave thinks that Tim is worse than the husband.
Ooh.
Mon Mothma's husband doesn't even get a name. Who's worse, Dave, the husband or Tim? Because I would say the husband because because he knows that Mon Mothma hates like Sly Moore and all those other people.
Oh,
like,
it's a throwdown.
Yeah, this is the fight with him.
They both have the same weapon.
Yeah, he took that off at Dead Lasat. We found out.
Well, he was given to it by his defeated enemy.
Such a retcon. Such a retcon. Come on, he killed that dude. But like, yeah. I will say Zeb gets a nice amount of screen time in season 1, and we get a lot about him. And I think because he is the creature, he's sort of like the kid's character. They do shrink his role over time. Which to focus more on like Sabine, to give us more of like Freddy and the Jedi. Ahsoka joins the fray. He becomes like he certainly gets less screen time is what it comes down to, but he's no less important.
Right. And I feel like that's because they kind of resolve his story a little sooner.
Yeah.
Like they help the Lasats find a new home world and get there and be safe. And that's kind of like the end of his arc. And the rest of it is to be supplemental to the Ghost Crew. So, and
I think that's why we're not going to see him in future stuff. Like his story seems the most complete of everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And if we do, I won't complain. Like if he were to show up in a hologram, that'd be totally amazing.
Just checking in from him and Zeb and the kids, him and Callus and the kids. So I don't think he's going to pop up in Ahsoka though, or certainly not in Andor. There was something else from Andor. Actually, I want to close out this episode watching this fight because this is great. We see Ezra like save his life and everything.
Yeah. Oh, ow. Yeah. While we're watching this, I'm going to read another one from the Post this morning, and it's from Jess Kennedy or Canode. I'm sorry if I butcher your last name. The first time I watched Rebels, I wasn't sure what to expect. It had so many mixed reviews. However, after the first few episodes, there was one thing I knew for sure, and that was Chopper. Chopper is king. Chopper is superior. I freaking love that tiny little droid of mass destruction and complete grumpiness. My boy Chop, the chosen one. Girl, I feel you. I feel you. I've never related to a comment more. Thank you.
He's certainly my favorite droid. I don't think he's my favorite character in the show, though. But it's also because if you ask me like any day of the week who my favorite character is, it changes. Like I definitely go with my times when I'm like Sabine is my favorite, especially when we get like the Sabine heavy episodes where she's like training with the Darksaber, and I can eventually see her. And I've talked about this on the Thursday show. Like, is she someone who could potentially rule all of Mandalore if we bring her in a live action and she's in the Mandalorian story? Like, I think maybe. I love Hera so much, and mostly because I love Vanessa Marshall. Like, I'm obsessed with her. I could be like, Hera's my favorite character, and then I'll go to Freddy and be like, oh, everything about Freddy and Kanan and him being such a great Jedi and the way he dies. And then I come to Ezra. I don't know if I've ever had Zeb in my number 1 spot, but like there are parts of his stories that I find some of the most compelling things in Star Wars. Like, how do you forgive someone who committed crimes against your people who are now trying to make it right? How do you like heal those wounds? How do you move forward, knowing that he wants to do the right thing? By the way, here's Bail. Where the hell is he? He should be in Andor.
He should, but it's cool that, he paid him to return, and they did the right thing. They didn't sell the droids.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll show up at that dinner if they show it.
That'd be interesting.
Look at Bale. He's like, you didn't tell him who I am, right? And C3 was like, obviously I did. C3PO, right into the trash. Like, can we put him back in the trash compactor in New Hope and just leave him there? Let it smush him. So hate him. I've always hated him. I
love this juxtaposition, this like mirror image of her and her father. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
It's like that kind of stuff is the stuff that crushes me. And like Jason looks at me like I'm a lunatic. Like I cried during the trailer of Black Panther, and he's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like,
my
"It
God.
gave me all the feelings."
When you see her stand up, and I don't know which her it is, I'm guessing it's Shuri, stand
I
up in
think
that
so.
suit.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I would assume she's the center of the poster.
Yeah.
Dave saying he doesn't know if he's want to see Zeb in live action. Yeah, I agree. Like I think he's the hardest one to do, obviously, because it is a full scale character. And outside of Chewie, I don't think they've done these characters that are creatures like a ton of justice. And I'd want Steve to be the voice, but we see how this is going. Like the voice actors are not necessarily portraying their characters in live action. So I'm hesitant. I also don't think we need him. I really do think his story is resolved. Whereas we know Hera becomes a general in the rebellion. I assume flies with the resistance as well. I think Sabine has a lot of unfinished story left to be told with Mandalore and the Mandalorians. Ezra's got to be found. Ahsoka's going to go get him. She's going to grab Sabine along the way. And if Hera's there, she brings Chopper. But like, I don't see how Zeb joins that fray. It almost seems like once this is over, once Star Wars Rebels, the series is over, Zeb goes his own way. And everyone kind of goes their own way, but this group comes back together without him. And I'm okay with that. Like, I don't think we need every character in every iteration of every story. Like, otherwise it becomes character overload.
Yeah, and I think that's probably where Zeb would probably pop in the hologram, like just check in and be like, hey,
yeah,
we're doing this. We're letting him know that they're finding Ezra and kind of giving him a status update. That would be awesome.
If Ezra returns and like Zeb says hi via hologram, being like, I hope to see you soon. Like,
I will cry stupidly. I'm sorry, but I will. Because right there in that last episode, when he's like injured and he's already feeling really bad because this is the guy that like ordered the disruptors to take out his people and has a ceremonial Lasat weapon and has fought him and almost killed him with it, and that he was saved from it. He thinks it's Kanan, but he finds out it's Ezra. And I think that's like the beginning of building the friendship for them, and also like it's where the bond starts. So it's just cool to see.
Which we're going to see a little more of in the next episode. The next episode is all about their adventure together. So if you are a Zeb fan, hang in. We got another big Zeb episode coming next. In fact, we should probably cue it up now. Do you want to give us a 5-second countdown to play next episode?
All right, kiddos, and we will start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Play.
I just love the shape of the Ghost. It's such a cool looking ship.
I know, it's really cool. I love this.
Chopper, such a jerk. Yeah, you do need his help.
And then just throws it at him and runs away laughing, like, wee. The girl.
We were just talking about Sabine's armor. I love those colors. Oh, the Sabine helmet will be back, so we'll have the season 2. We don't have the season 4 yet. We're still trying to finalize the pink on there. It seems to be a real problem. But it's coming.
See, I think season 4 was the purple one.
Was it purple? I think there's like a little bit of pink in there. There's one color that is going to be the death of me.
It's probably like that, like rust. It's like a maroony pink in like the crevices.
There's something. The season 2 looks really good. We're now just like scaling up our production. So we're moving on that, which is looking great. But the season 4, there's one color that is killing me. So we didn't want to bring like a paint master that isn't perfect to the show. So we'll just reveal it online at a later date, as we get closer to the end of the year.
Right.
But yeah, I'm excited to hawk all our wares. That's always fun.
It's so exciting.
It's going to be a good time. I'm very excited about New York Comic Con. I was like legitimately nervous about Celebration in San Diego and just like the amount of work that goes into it. This is hometown show. I've got friends coming in from out of town, and like I've already done this now like twice. And it's like, okay, we're bringing largely the same assortment of items with just a little bit of news. But if you're not coming just for Genuino Novo, obviously Ashley mentioned like she's got a ton of friends who are artists there that you should check out. I did a little deep dive on who else is going from Star Wars. For people, if for some reason you happen to be at New York Comic Con and you don't already know this, here are the autograph signers that I saw on the list for New York Comic Con. Obviously, Oscar Isaac, which is like the big get.
Huge.
Brendan Wayne, who's the stunt person for The Mandalorian, and Lateef Crowder. They both do like in the suit.
Incredible stuntmen.
Amazing. Lateef is truly the stunt guy, and I think does the heavy lifting on the stunts. And Brendan is really like the walking body when Pedro's
the gunslinger. Yeah.
And
It was
Pedro's
just
not
fitting
on a
because
lot,
he's John
apparently.
Wayne's grandson.
Exactly. Like he's
yeah.
got that gait and that walk.
Yeah.
He's also like they're both tall and skinny and of course in like perfect like acting shape and stunt shape. But like Brendan's also like strikingly gorgeous. I was like, what are you doing behind this helmet? But like
I
he is
know, rude.
he's the body of Pedro Pascal because Pedro is usually just the voice. He's in the suit a lot apparently, but and he is more than he was in season 1 when there was a whole episode that he wasn't even in. That cracks me up. Not that it matters. Like everyone is contributing to form the character of the Mandalorian. And then separately, there are 2 voice actors, Robbie Daymond, who played the 8th brother in Star Wars Rebels, who we love, and then Tom Kenny, who's best known for SpongeBob, but did a ton of work in the Clone Wars. So
Tom is amazing. If you guys can meet him, please do. He's wonderful.
Super cool guy.
So much fun.
He signed autographs for us at Topps numerous times because he plays like some Clone Wars nonsense, but like Tom Kenny is a name, right?
Yeah.
The characters he played in Star Wars are definitely not. But like Tom Kenny's cool. And then Robbie Daymond is a cool guy too. He does a ton of anime. So he's well known in the voice
that's
community.
A big deal.
And
then those
have,
anime actors are huge at cons. Like every single con I've gone to this year has been like there's anime guests. The lines are ridiculous.
You were saying that about Steve Bloom. And it's like, he kills it at these shows. And then we had one canceled Star Wars guest, which was Freddie Prinze Jr., unfortunately. I don't know why he canceled, but he's canceled.
Please don't cancel for Rhode Island, Freddie, please.
That would be disappointing because we have a nice list of people coming for Rhode Island. And then there are a couple of authors. There's actually, if you go to the guest page and just type in Star Wars as a search, there are 29 people that come up. So it includes like artists and authors and all that. I just pulled the top 4 that I think people would know immediately without having to do any Googling and searching. Charles Soule, Charles Soule, Chuck Wendig, obviously who I love.
Huge.
Claudia Gray and
also
Delilah
huge.
Dawson. Yeah,
oh my
all
God,
amazing writers.
Fantastic group of writers, wonderful people. Really exciting. If you guys, New York Comic Con is such a huge publishing show. So if you guys can get to meet them, please do. It's totally worth it. They'll check to see if they're on a publisher's booth or if they're doing signings on their own or anywhere on the floor. Definitely go see.
In some cases, like if you go to the guest, it'll say like Artist Alley or panels or like a particular booth number. So just go to newyorkcomiccon.com and look at the guest list. There's a ton of people coming. It actually looked really overwhelming because they also added to that section, and you can filter it, but like cosplayers are in there and some people who are only on panels, but not necessarily like publicly available, right? So like Artist Alley is one thing because like you could just walk up to anyone's table, but if you're only appearing for a panel, like
it's like the Good Omens cast. So you have Michael Sheen and David Tennant, who's also a Star Wars actor.
Yes.
But they're doing a private Good Omens signing. So I guess that was part of the ones that you have to like reserve ahead of time. And that went so fast. So I think that was for Friday or Saturday. I'm not sure, but that would have been cool. But
oh, here's Brendan Wayne. His just says TBD Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So he'll just probably be in the autographing hall because I don't think he's at a booth. But oh my God, that cowboy hat. You're right. Like he's 6'3". we will notice him. Actually, David said that Claudia Gray is great also. Oh yeah, she's writing for High Republic right now. In fact, I think all those authors are in High Republic territory at the moment. So yeah, and there's some AEW
and
wrestlers.
Charles is a phenomenal comic book writer too. Like I've been collecting his comics for years. I think the first
one Darth Vader run.
Right. And the first one that I got from him was a graphic novel called 27, and it was about someone, it was a musician who ended up with this magic panel. It looked like a wah pedal stuck in his chest, and every time he hit a button, it made him play this like amazing score on his instrument, but it would take a year off his life. So he would, if he kept doing it, and he was having like this phenomenal career, but if he kept doing it, he would die, and he was 27. So it's like the whole like musicians passing away at 27 thing. Yeah, it kind of feeds into that. It was really, really cool. So
it's such a Gen X story right there.
Yeah,
like I can feel
it's
that
through Image Comics. I think it came out about 10 years ago.
Yeah, this sounds right. This all sounds like you summed up the Gen X experience in like 3 sentences. Yeah, which I'm a millennial. I'm born in 81. I just make it. I'm the oldest of the millennials, but I have some Gen X blood, let me tell you. And some of it
Yeah.
is the nihilism and
I
also
was
my
raised by Gen
disdain.
Xers. My older
Yeah.
sisters are like 10 and 11 years older than me, so I've got
Mm.
all of that in my blood. So
Yeah, that's the kind of thing where it's like when I'm on like these weird cuspy generations where like I'm very millennial. Like I do the checklist and man, do I hit millennial, but I'm also in that weird little tiny thing they call the xennials, which is that
yeah,
small overlap, like analog childhood, digital adulthood. You know, the sort of pop culture that we absorbed is like late
same.
80s, early 90s. There's a lot to that. But there's the Gen X nihilism and sort of disdain for culture, and then at the same time the like disregard for each other within it to like sort of hate, like I hate the fact that Gen Xers are such spectators.
Yeah.
Like it makes me crazy compared to like other generations. That's why millennials are like, oh my God, get out of the way. Like you were supposed to overthrow the boomers. Why didn't you do it?
You had all
Like,
the chances in the world.
yeah,
No,
exactly. But there's, you know, Gen X is also
I
like
love
the
this.
smallest generation. There's like 15 years worth, and it's like small by population size. So I'll let them off the hook tonight. I'll have a whole other diatribe on everything wrong with Gen X on a separate conversation, because I'm sure it's like half our audience. I'm
I love this.
the angry millennial.
Yes. I
Oh,
love
is he
this.
flying? He's finally
He was
flying the TIE
flying
fighter.
the TIE fighter, and just like Chopper, he's like, ha 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 ha.
So
There's something freeing about
Wait,
this, I guess.
in Rebels Recon, they talked about, and this was Filoni saying that as a boy, when he played with the Star Wars toys, he liked putting the heroes in the TIE fighters and flying them around. And that's where that came from. And I was like, that's
Brilliant.
amazing. Because we've never seen a good guy in a TIE fighter until
No.
now. They do it again
Yeah.
in Force Awakens when we get Poe and Finn in there, in the double seater.
But again,
but,
it
like,
wouldn't
this
have
is the
happened
first
without
time.
Filoni.
Yeah. And that's the kind of thing where it's like Zeb looks amazing in a TIE fighter.
I love how
like,
he's flying sideways, just kind of mocking Ezra as he's
it's
trying
like,
to run
help
a
him, you
loop.
jerk. Yeah.
If I let you in, we're even.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, right. Zeb is annoyed that Ezra kept rubbing in his face that he saved his life. So now Zeb has to save Ezra's life to make it even so they
throws
could
him.
be on an even playing field.
All from
Yeah.
Melu Runs, which, by the way, is my favorite drink at Galaxy's Edge.
So what's in that?
I think it's like Minute Maid, like juice and like some kind of like blueberry stuff, but it's just so good.
That's
like a
is it
fruit
an
punch.
alcoholic drink or like
No,
that's one of the mocktails?
I mean, unless you figure out how to smuggle a nip of vodka in, I don't know, but
Okay. No, I know they have such a mix at the bar. Like
But
half
it
of them are
should,
cocktails,
yeah.
half of them are mocktails. Yeah.
this you can get at the Ronto Roasters. So that's where I usually get it.
Okay. See, I've only been once. And so for me, even though I've watched like all the YouTube content, like because I've only experienced the place physically one time and I haven't even been out to the West Coast to do it. I feel like super
Come next year for
disconnected.
my birthday.
Well, your Return of the Jedi birthday, as you were
Return of
saying.
the
So
Jedi birthday, yeah.
that sounds like a great time. You just have to tell me when. So
Yes.
we'll make a whole like Rebels thing out of it too. Like
Rebels
I
Day
really
in the park.
yeah, so should we tell like we're gonna do a Halloween episode and there might be some costumes.
Yes.
So we would encourage people to dress up. We're gonna pre-record Halloween, by the way, because we both have big Halloween plans. I work for a Halloween costume company, like Jesus. My calendar is booked between now and Christmas. But
Right.
like with Halloween stuff. But we're gonna do a dress up thing, and I actually would love to have like had time to actually make like a one of a kind like Ezra cosplay or something, but I have
Aw.
not gotten to that. But I do have something planned. So
That'd be awesome. Yeah. And
that'd
they're
be
playing
very
the
cool.
jerk.
Yeah, that's cool. I like this. I like that all of these ships have this like built-in chess station, like as like you have to imagine like it's almost like a CD player or like a tape deck goes into every car. Like this was the model that went in. It's like, do you want this one? It's the standard.
Mhm.
We found some Bailey runs,
Yep.
but we
Which-
lost them. But then we found them again, and then we smashed them.
Yeah, it sounds like yeah. Which that one fruit was just to like it was a stupid task. It was one of those things to
Yeah.
just get them to like spend time together and like figure out if they could solve this unsolvable problem because that fruit shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, and they love that TIE fighter. They're like, do we have to?
Dave is asking what we're dressing as. I'm gonna say we're gonna keep it vague. It is Star Wars related, and it is Star Wars Rebels related.
Yes.
Even more so. I'm working on my finishing touches to get it right. I know so is Ashley. So we will reveal it on the show.
Yeah.
It'll be really fun because that's less than a month away now. We're in spooky season. So my Instagram between now and like the end of the month will just be like what scary movies I watch between now and November 1st, basically.
Are you
Unless
gonna go
anyone
see
else-
Halloween Ends?
Oh, for sure. I mean, although I will
Yeah.
say Halloween Kills was so disappointing that I'll probably end up watching it on Peacock. Because I do want to see some, like, I want to see Smile in the theater, and I think it's important to support new original horror. And I'm
That
hearing
is-
great things about Smile. I love Black Phone. And
Black Phone
then
was
Now that's
amazing.
great viral marketing with them taking the actors to the baseball games and stuff.
oh yeah,
The
Oh,
kids.
yeah.
that's so freaky.
so
Yeah.
creepy. All my straight fraternity brothers who care about baseball were texting me, and they're like, "What is this?" Because they knew I would know. So, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's their viral marketing campaign. Like, we don't have that license, but by the way, like, don't you know, we're pushing all of our masks that have like some effed up smile on it." Because of course, there's no license for that. From what I understand, anyway, they're not licensing that movie. But yeah, like you know those people who are like, oh, you know, liking the month of October is not a personality. I was like, well, newsflash, it is. Second
The
of
whole
all,
thing.
yeah, I'm one of those people. And so yeah, I'm gonna try to go see some other horror movies. Like a few other things just came out with like the new Dario Argento, which just ended up on Shudder. Oh, see, this is terrible. So this is the first clue that the Empire is really even more devious than we realize. They burned down this house, they kidnapped these people. Lethal is under siege. And it's only gonna get worse. It's
And they're
heartbreaking.
friends of the Bridgers. So
Yeah. Yeah. They've got to go free them.
oh, come on, you guys should know you're like heist kings. You can pull this off.
Yeah.
I think it's good
have
that they
no
don't
doubt.
know, I guess.
Those transport vehicles really took me back to when I was a kid with the toys.
Oh yeah, this is like a totally toy centric episode, like right down to
Yeah.
like the drivers and it
Yeah.
worked out well.
This was literally Dave Filoni playing with his toys and then turning it into a cartoon episode.
In the sandbox with Dave Filoni.
Dave is bringing up the fact about the binders, the handcuffs. They have them for baby size as well, which we've seen. We saw it on Baby Grogu. Look, the Empire kidnapped children all the time. They also
Did you see
killed.
Hasbro Con thing that they did. They're releasing a I can't remember his name, Giancarlo's character with a Grogu with binders on.
Moff Gideon.
Yes,
yeah.
I saw that at
Gideon
San
with
Diego. It was
Grogu
crazy.
binders.
I'm like, oh, I don't want to buy it on principle because I don't condone the
I love
imprisonment
it.
of adorable little Jedi.
First of all, he's 50. He's a fully grown man.
It's
Also,
adorable.
that's not the TIE fighter you're looking for. It was a great little like line that's like just close enough. But yeah, I thought the Hasbro stuff, the reveals. I mean, the Black Series Mon Mothma is like top of my
I
list.
texted you first thing.
Yes, you did, and about 20 other people.
Sweet.
Which look, people know how I feel about everything. I am a
Yes.
Mon Mothma fan. In fact, I was going
Yes.
through in the process of cleaning for New York Comic Con because we have friends staying with us. I was actually going through some old cards and a whole bunch of other stuff. And just, you know, when you start cleaning something and you're like, well, I really should look at this bookcase. And I realized that I have Genevieve O'Reilly's autograph and Kat Seuss's autograph. And I've got
Wow.
Carolyn Blackenston's autograph, mostly on trading cards. But like I've got my Mon Mothma collection. I was like, but I don't have a lot of like physical merchandise because they don't do a lot with her. So the Black
Yeah.
Series one, I'm going to have to get, and I'm going to have to get signed. I'm going to have to meet Genevieve somewhere at some point to get that signed.
Dave says, just like the new no window packaging. I guess they just want to
Yeah.
cut down on their plastic use, but
It's cost savings. It's never environmental. Like it's definitely cost savings. And I would also bet you can't see if there are any defects with the toy inside. But I also think it's going to cause a bigger problem at shelf because we've seen it across all of toys, and I'm sure you're aware. People swap in different figures all the time and then return them,
Yeah.
and it ends up back on the shelf. It's a big problem with wrestling figures. Big problem because those old guys all kind of look alike to people who don't know, right? Like so you could
Yeah.
return it at a Target, and they're not going to know that like it's different character. There's a big issue with that. I think this is only going to exacerbate that issue.
I agree.
I've seen that a lot in toy aisles where you come across an item that you were hoping to find and then realize that it's been messed with and like 3 of the 4 characters are been swapped out or something along.
Yeah,
it's
people
terrible. I can't believe people do that.
jerks.
Yeah, well, they think they're only hurting like the big multi-billion-dollar corporation, and that's all nice and nebulous at the. Oh, there's the fruit. How lucky is that? That fruit pops up in something numerous times. Actually, it becomes like almost a running gag. Oh, and a slingshot, which is also like one of the reasons people didn't like this show in the beginning. Right? Yeah.
The fruit is in Docking Bay 7 as well, and
Yes.
hanging from the roof or the ceiling or something.
Yes, and there is a fruit thing you can buy, but it does not include this fruit because this fruit does not exist in real life. So, but they do give you like a
But
little
they
fruit
do
thing
look
to
like
buy it.
mangoes. So
Yes. You did all this for fruit. He doesn't really kill anyone in the beginning, which is good. We have to build to that. It is very silly though. He's throwing fruit. He's using a slingshot. Like you can understand like where we are in the timeline of this being a kid show, and yeah. Yeah, I agree with what Dave's saying. Like you don't want to have to buy 2 of everything, and then you want something to display. I'm now in a case where like, and I know this sounds crazy working for like a CPG licensed product company. I'm trying to reduce the number of things I own. Like, in fact, I texted Ashley this weekend. I was like, I have some stuff to mail to you. But I say this every year, and then I go to a San Diego Comic-Con and I came home with like a bag of trash. And not that everything in there is trash, but it's like, well, how much is going to end up in a drawer, not on display? It was, remember a couple months, maybe a couple weeks ago, I was like, look at these Rebels magazines that I've never looked at like since 2015. So these things just like end up taking up space.
Yeah, with me, I would use them as reference for the next card set because Masterwork is about to come out soon. So
you've got to draw for that one. Yes.
It's my first set since like before my father passed. So I'm just like, I have to dig out all my art supplies. I don't know where anything is.
Yeah. So, yeah, your first set made from Massachusetts now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've worked on some when I've been home, but it's fully East Coast. So I'm excited.
Is a full East Coast set. Can I make a request?
Yeah, sure.
So I love Thrawn. And I love Price. But I think there's some there's so many interesting Imperials to pull from. And I think like the Cassius guy, Constantine guy that we hate could be a really fun one that no one would expect. So if I don't know how many cards you're doing, but if you're able to mix them in, because I think if you're doing Rebels, you want to hit the high notes.
30, right? Yeah.
Okay, so you might be able to squeeze him in then. Like I was going to say, if you were doing a good number, if he could make the cut as an original character, because I can't imagine many people are going to do a Cassius, a Constantine, but I also want to make sure that you're drawing a card that people want. So I don't know how many people are going to want that character the more I think about it. Like I'm saying it out loud and then I'm backpedaling. Thrawn might be better. Thrawn or Price.
Yeah. Thrawn would be a huge one.
Yeah. I want to make sure there's an Imperial in there.
Oh, yeah.
People love their Imperials.
And I don't think I've drawn Price yet, to be honest.
Oh, you got to do her then. I'd go Price. Yeah.
Okay. Just because we love to hate her.
Tweet it at Mary Elizabeth once it's approved. So,
hell yeah.
Yeah. She's the best.
She is.
I love how their relationship has sort of evolved at this point.
Totally. They're like brothers. They've just been through the ringer.
Big brother, little brother situation. Oh my God, that's so great. I feel like that piece of art was in a style guide because I know I've seen it like used, like the chalk sort of. Yeah, it's very cute.
It's in the art book too.
Oh yeah.
So my friend had Steve Bloom sign it in Philly recently.
That's so cute.
In her art book, and he was like, "I love this," and they all hate Chopper.
There you go. That'll bring you together. Like take down Chopper.
And Chopper's just loving it. He's just like, aha.
Chopper will take them all out.
That TIE fighter pops back up too. So
and they just look at each other like, did we?
So we saw some interesting things happen, right? The Empire really cracked down big and kidnapped some citizens, right? So we see the dangerous truth that is coming, like down the line. We also saw Zeb and Ezra really cement their relationship. They also grabbed that TIE fighter, which becomes really important toward the end of season 1. So all these like little breadcrumbs that are leading us along the way to like the larger conflict that's coming.
Right.
I thought this was like, it's certainly not a filler episode, but I think people would think of it as one, right? It's like you have a little mission to do. It's just the two of you guys, little character development, like get to know, have a fun adventure, but you're throwing fruit, you're using a slingshot. We didn't really do anything Jedi this episode. He was trying at the beginning, but like didn't really do anything. But I like that. I like these early episodes because they're just fun, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like the stakes seem relatively
It's
low.
building the family.
Yeah.
So you see them kind of like they hated each other to begin with. It was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
why do we have to pick up this kid? This guy smells. And now they're like bonding. They're becoming like big brother, little brother.
Yeah. You can see the family structure forming. It's sort of similar in Andor, where like there's a bit of a slow burn where like the adventure has to get bigger and bigger. Like he spent the first 3 episodes just on his home planet, and all the action stayed there. And now in episode 4, we meet Mon Mothma, and we're starting to get the behind the scenes. We did want to make sure we talked about this before the episode ends, because we all hate Mon Mothma's husband. If that's going to bring one thing together in this fandom, damn it, like this will be the one thing. We all hate Mon Mothma's
social
husband.
ladder climbing BS that he's pulling when he knows that these people despise his wife.
Hate her. Yeah.
Oh, like why?
Slymore. Like every other name on there is kind of like whatever, but Slymore is actually force sensitive, so that's not great. And she's at the right hand of the Emperor. And so she'd be able to tell if you're lying. She could probably like read your thoughts. She's using some dark side magic shit. Like I'm scared of that lady. She's scared me in the prequels. I don't want Slymore like coming to my house. And you're right, Mr. Mothma sucks. He's terrible.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't even know. I hope it doesn't even have a name, but divorce for everyone. So
the man formerly known as Mr. Mothma.
Yeah. Well, here's the big question now, because I want to make a prediction. I think that it's going to go one of 2 ways. He's going to find out what Mon is up to and like go to turn her into someone like a Slymore or someone else, because he cares about his position and power. And so like he'd rather stay on the right side with the Emperor and everyone else and be rewarded for turning in his like traitorous wife, or he's going to be killed. Like, and
I think he'll be killed.
I hope. Like, yeah, I'm rooting for that.
Wow. Okay.
It was quick, right?
That was so quick. It was like, nope.
Yeah.
Bye.
Well, you know what it is? Like, she can't be found out because she has to come out publicly as like, you know, and it's going to be the
and it's a shocker when it does happen. So
the
she's
Gormans. Yeah.
Yeah. So when she admits that in Rebels, and she makes a statement against the Emperor in Rebels, I wonder if this is going to kind of show us. Like,
well, they were already planting that seeds, because they talk about the Gormans, and in the speech in Rebels, which we watched in Secret Cargo, she specifically references the Gorman massacre. So they gave us that breadcrumb right there, and I think Kat called it out in the Thursday show, because that's a really important story beat. So she's going to make it. I don't think the husband does, because she goes to Yavin and never once mentions having a husband. Remember, I thought she was a lesbian. That was going to be my big swing, right? Which I guess I could have like read this in like a book or something. Like I thought I knew everything there was to know about Mon Mothma. It turns out she has a husband. And they've been married since they're like 16, and she has a kid. But like that never comes up in later stories. Like she doesn't have a husband in like the future books or anything, as far as I remember. I think that everyone's ready for him to die. Yeah, his death could be extra motivation, right? What if Slymore and whoever else like kill him, even though she didn't like him? I wouldn't want anyone killing my husband, right? Like even if you're annoyed by him, like you don't want that to happen. Yeah. So that could be something.
And how cool was it to see a Calicori?
That was neat.
In Luthen's shop. Oh my God.
There was some great, by the way, like that wall piece that looked like the mural of the Mortis father, son, and daughter that could have been from the remains on Lothal. I mean, it could be a wall from anywhere. Apparently that picture pops up in various places, but I thought of Clone Wars and Rebels immediately. Those hands are.
And that's why I think they put it on a shirt at Celebration, to just kind of be like, hey, guess what we're doing.
Don't forget about them. Yeah, I love everything about the Mortis arc, and I know it's one of the more controversial arcs in Clone Wars, because they're like, what the F is this? Like, this completely changes the idea of what the Force is, and like this adventure happened in a blink of like a millisecond, so it seems like a dream. Like everything about that arc is like, and you know, Ahsoka dies and then comes back. Like everything about that arc is like super controversial in the fandom, and people either love it or hate it. It's like 10-star review or 1-star review kind of thing. Like I'm in the 10-star category, and I love it. And I love that big swing.
Because again, we love Rebels, and it has that air of mysticism and you know, delving deep into the power of the Force, and that's what that is. And up until then, like, do I think we would have had as much success with Rebels if it didn't introduced Mortis in the Clone Wars? No, I think it would have been even more shocking if it came out of this. So,
well, it brings up like, what do you want in your sci-fi? Like, I want it to be weird, like super weird and not grounded and like insanely mystical and hard to understand. Like, it's sci-fi. Like, I could watch The Wire if I wanted to watch The Wire, right? Like, I will say Andor is very grounded and it's a great spy thriller and I love everything about it. Like, if that was the mainline Star Wars show or the way the movies were, I don't think it would stand alone. Like, it would be a great thriller. And by the way, I love Andor. I want everyone to know that I think it's an A+ show. Like, I think it's a fantastic show.
I cannot wait.
Star Wars is very mysticism and very like Jedi and this and the Force and like hard to understand and like people fight about it, right? Like, Andor's not really in that territory, which is why some people are like, it doesn't feel like Star Wars. I do think the struggle is there though, and the fighting with the rebellion versus the Empire, which is the more grounded sides of Star Wars. I think all of that is there and it makes sense. But I love the mysticism stuff. Like, it's my favorite part of all the Star Wars stuff.
So good.
Oh, yes. Don't forget, as Jeff is saying, put a comment so you have a chance to win a Rebels Revisited t-shirt in any color and cut that you want. By the way, there's a male cut and a female cut. We still gender our shirts because we do. It's just the way we have to make clothing.
Some people have preference.
Yes, exactly. I also I got one of the V-neck cut ones and it actually looks really nice, but it was still the male V-neck cut. So there is like a women's cut. But also like bodies are different. So, but there are various sizes. There's a million colors. You can also get it in heather. There's also like an eco version, like an eco-friendly version and like a heavyweight version. Mr. Monmouth was a douchebag. We won't get him a shirt. That's for sure.
No shirts for you.
Yes.
Mr.
So we're going to pick a winner from Facebook and we're going to pick a winner from YouTube. And we'll get your info, and then Spencer or Jeff or Dave or I or someone will contact you and ask for your address. And it will not be to steal your credit card info. We will ship you the shirt directly to your desired address. And your color cut, etc.
And as you can see, they look amazing when you wear them.
Yeah.
He's really like the perfect model for this. Show it off. Show it off.
By the way, this is a medium. I like to pretend that I'm a medium, but I'm like a true medium because of COVID. So, but yeah, we've got a nice size array, and the colors are great.
So am I.
Yeah. Let's talk about what's coming up. So we started to go back on Rebels season 1 because Andor is really the beginnings of the rebellion. So we felt like, let's go back to the beginning. So we're going to continue that trend. We just did episodes 3 and 4 of Rebels tonight. We're going to do episodes 6 and 7 because we've already looked at 5. We already watched 5 together. So that's Breaking Ranks and Out of Darkness. We're also going to talk a little bit about post New York Comic Con next week. And then as we get into the end of the month, there will be a Halloween spooktacular. We're going to watch Witches of Dathomir, which is like the spooky episode.
I love that episode.
It's such a fun one. That'll be a pre-record. We are going to dress up and we're going to do some silly stuff. So we'll have a nice time. But we also expect that like people have plans on Halloween night, which is why it'll be a pre-record. And then you could just join us and like, just watch the silliness. And then actually before that, the Tales of the Jedi comes out. So we're going to do an Ahsoka show before Tales of the Jedi hits on Monday, the 24th. So I think that'll be really fun. We're going to do a full Ahsoka watch along, like plan, like across the VCN when we get ready for the Ahsoka show to drop. But before Tales of the Jedi, we're just going to talk about our favorite moments of Ahsoka within Star Wars Rebels. So if you love our listicles, this will not be a pre-record. This will be a live one. So it'll go off the rails, but quick.
As it usually does.
Yeah, we will talk about all of our favorite Ahsoka moments, of which there are many within Rebels.
Oh yeah, like single-handedly, like it just elevated the series. Her showing up as Fulcrum and made our little band of misfits actual rebels when she showed up. So
yeah, connecting
it's
to
exciting.
Sato and everyone else, calling it. Well, I remember even as a licensee, we had to start referring to them as Phoenix Squadron. That was a thing. So you'll notice a lot of licensed product that came out from Topps after that. Like there's a Masterworks set where I wanted to put them in, and I had them like Crew of the Ghost or something, and they were like they're Phoenix Squadron, and I was like, oh, got it, yeah. And then I was able to include like Sato and other people because we had a medallion or something. But
oh my God, I wish I worked on that set at that time. I was so
we missed each other like by like ships in the night, but this worked out because then we found each other now.
You hired me.
Well,
so
but like for a minute, like it was one of those things where I was on to Authentics like days later. It was so fast. Like,
so it was really
crazy.
fast.
I know. Look, you're in good hands with Jessica though, who I still see every day. She's my
she's
coworker
a
at Ruby.
rock star. Oh my gosh, I miss her. I
think
really miss
Tops
her.
does too. So I don't know if they miss me, but they definitely miss Jessica.
I think they miss both of you because
Well, I'm excited to see what they have coming up next because I saw their finest set for 22. Looks pretty cool for Star Wars.
Yeah. Thanks, Catherine. Have fun walking the dog. Have
Yes,
a good
very
night.
good seeing you all tonight. Thank you everyone for joining in. And I hope we get to give away some shirts, which is very exciting. So we're gonna wait like a day or two to pull comments.
Yeah, make sure you comment
below.
on this.
Yep. Like, subscribe, share, etc. What's the thing? Yeah.
Yes. Smash that like button.
There it is.
Subscribe. Notification bell.
I think that's pretty much it for next week. So come find us at New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
That's the other big
Mark
thing.
will be at booth 2900. I will be wandering the floor. Most likely, Mark, if you go by Mark's booth and you don't see me, just yell at Mark and he'll get in touch with me and I'll run over.
And
as fast as the crowds will allow.
And we have cards to hand out. So we will have more of these to give away.
Yes.
Rebels Revisited cards. So if you come to my booth, or if you find Ashley, she'll have, this is actually her stack right here that I just ripped open like an animal. There's a whole stack for her.
Not worried about it. It will probably be put in my backpack with my photos. I've got and Mason.
I've got a duffel bag for you, a top stuffle.
Ooh, fancy.
You can put this in. So it's a bag. So I'm giving you a bag to like hold this in. So
cool.
Cool. All right. All right, guys. Thank you again for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much for joining us for this very special anniversary show honestly, this show has been amazing. It's such an integral part of Star Wars, and we're so glad that you guys watch with us every week and get as nerdy about it as we do.
Yeah, thank you for helping keep Rebels alive. And it looks like Lucasfilm is doing the same with all the streams of content, which is why I think we're going to be on air for a while. Yeah, this is going to keep on. We're going to keep you every week. We're going to find a new thing to talk about. Trust.
So Spencer says, I will buy a Rebels shirt for someone if someone can get a selfie with both Mark and Ashley at New York Comic Con.
Good one.
The gauntlet is thrown.
We should set up a time where I tweet out when you're at the booth and we selfie together. And then if you find us during that limited time, that limited edition experience, you'll get a free shirt from Spencer. We're just giving away shirts like crazy. Also, people tell your friends to buy some shirts too. We need this swagging this is for swagging cheap at Celebration.
Yeah, and like look how good it looks.
I know.
Did you want to look good in your clothes?
I gotta flex again.
Flex the guns.
Yeah, I should have done some push-ups beforehand to get that pump. To then model, right?
It's the blaster show. It's not the gun show. It's the blaster show.
Yeah. I will tell you this: if the shirt didn't look good, I would just be like, "Oh, I'm wearing the shirt. This looks so good. Like I'm so happy with the way this looks. Like I'm very, very happy with it, and I love orange. It's weird that orange looks good on me because orange looks good on no one. Like it's a weird color, and I love orange. It's one of my fraternity colors, which is why I actually own a lot of orange clothing. And I'm a Halloween junkie, so I think
it works out.
Yeah, this God has blessed me with that, if nothing else.
I do it for Chopper.
Yeah, exactly. He's the main color of Chopper.
It's a Chopper color. I have
the yellow is surprisingly good looking too. The yellow looks great.
Did you get it in yellow?
No, but I was, as I clicked through everything.
Oh, you're testing.
Really
I was like, dang, how many did you buy? That's amazing.
More are coming. It's gonna end up being a Christmas gift for people. Like it's gonna get to a point where it's like, Mom, Merry Christmas, and she's like, what the fuck is this? So
it's my shirt, Mom. It's my show.
All right, well, we really better close out because we were over time.
Guys.
But come join us next Monday. We're going to do more Rebels watch along, and come find us in New York. If you selfie with us, you get a free T-shirt.
Courtesy you post it on the Facebook page so that we can see it for proof.
Yes. So excited to see you guys. If you're going to New York Comic Con, have a fantastic week, and may the Force be with you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.